Howdy folks, Kerbo here. We're back on No Creek Farms, and it is hay season. Here at the very beginning of day 2 early summer. And I've got a load of hay we're going to take up to the barn. Got this field here next to the farm mowed and baled up in hay. Got 41 bales off of it, which is great. I think our previous record was is it 35 or 37, somewhere in there. I don't think we've ever got 40. I did have one ended up being a grass bale, just a little snafu with the baler. But anyway, I'm going to get this wagon hooked up here. And we're going to tow that up to the barn and get unloaded. And then we're going to head on over and do some more mowing. And I'm going to mow the field that I didn't mow last year or the year before. Bring the map up here real quick. And let's see, can I get my pointer? I can't get my pointer. That's alright. Get the other map up. There we go. So I mowed this. We've also mowed this in the past, and we've also mowed this northwest field in the past. I'm going to mow this little pasture right here that we're not using. We're not going to get a whole lot of bales out there, but it'll be some, maybe 20 or 30, somewhere in there. So we're going to mow that after I get the hay loaded up here. Now, this is a pretty good load for the case. So we're going to start out slow. We're already rolling backwards. And we'll just kind of see how it goes up through the gears. Of course, in low, it's no problem. Just have to kind of see what gear it's going to be happy with. Can we do third and high? I think we could do third and high. It's handling pretty well. You could pull a lot if you got the right weight and a good gear ratio. I don't think we can do fourth. Yeah, it's not real happy with fourth. Third gear, it's perfectly happy to pull here along at 5 miles an hour. Maybe 6. But, I'm going to pull this on around to the barn, and we're going to stack it. Now I'm using the haystack mod, so it's just kind of going to automatically stack it. So it's going to look a little silly. And I could take it off, you know, one bale at a time with the forks and take it over to the trigger, but it would still kind of just teleport it to the stack. So I think I will use the kind of cheaty workaround of just having it stack off the trailer. I did load all this with the front loader, as you can tell, because it's nice and crooked. But I need to get... I guess we can stick it in that. I was thinking I need to get the mixer out of the way, but we'll get the mixer out of the way later. I will need to feed the cows, probably first thing tomorrow morning. So I kind of like to do things manually, but the way these haystacks work, I think we'll just back in there. We're going to try anyway. We've got a dolly trailer, which is always fun. I've got this gate open so we can maybe get backed in through there. It's going to be quite a trick. You got to think backwards from backing a normal trailer. So it's just like my tippers that we have. You gotta steer the tongue of the trailer. I'm not sure we can get backed around in there in this direction. We might have to do it coming the other way. Yeah, we got clearance. I might have to raise my forks up. I don't run into my semi. Yeah, we're gonna have to come around and straighten out here. It's a little bit tricky. Straighten out a little bit here. I want to steer a little bit that way, but not quite that sharp. I'm just kind of letting the tractor idle back in there. Let's get those straps off. We'll get this eventually. Yeah, I went and steered the wrong way. Oh no. Oh no. Bale physics. Okay, I will use the straps. No, we need to turn this way. Just about had an implosion there. That wouldn't have been good. That's sort of what I wanted. But not quite. This one did it backwards again. So I want to get it slightly turned that way, and then I want to straighten up with the tongue. Just come on back. Got some of those off. I actually thought the trigger was bigger than that, so well, I might end up manually unloading part of this anyway. Oh, I got some of them in the stack. Alright, well, scratch that. I guess I will be unloading it manually. Let's get these back ones off first. This is the first time I've unloaded a trailer into the stack. So, like a lot of the mods I'm using this time around, I'm new to the mod. We gotta do a little learning. While I'm over here, let's go ahead and shut that gate. Cows are pretty well behaved. I'm going to actually use the tried and true farming method of pushing the trailer sideways. I've actually seen people do this IRL, so not exactly recommended, but in a pinch, you can scoot that on gravel. It's going to scar up your tires a little bit. No permanent damage. So we're heavy into hay season. I've also got quite a bit of milk. The cows, with 54 of them, are just going crazy with making milk. So I need to make a milk run at some point. Oh boy. Messed it up, didn't I? So we just run these in here, and it goes on the stack. That's kind of why I was just backing the trailer in there, but couldn't get them all to come off. If you're really paying attention, I know some of you probably caught that. When I hopped into this case, you'll notice it's not the in-game 1455. It is actually a mod. And the only really outward appearance that gives it away is the extra lights back here on the back. But this mod, it's got more options. I've got it set up like it's the in-game tractor, but we can actually add front hydraulics if we want to, and some other, we can actually make it two-wheel drive if you wanted to. Some other little things. It's got the extra lights, which are kind of nice, and it's got the IC, it's got the in-cab control, so it just gives me some more options, but it's the same 1455. So I set it up just like the in-game tractor that I had bought, but I did switch to the mod version, as you'll see here when I hop in. Let's not run into the trailer. I'm about to run into my truck here. That's what I'm going to end up doing. So I almost wish I had started out with the mod version of this. I would have went with two-wheel drive. Spit out the words, because we really don't need four-wheel drive for this chore tractor. But since I already had four-wheel drive on the in-game 1455, I set it up just like that. Just so I got a little more smoke sometimes, especially when the engine's under load. Oh boy. I'm not doing well tonight. Or this morning. It's tonight for me. It's morning in game. Kind of making a big old mess of it. But we'll get it in the barn, at any rate. Blame it on the keyboard. Still kind of getting used to the new mouse and keyboard. Plus side is the spacebar works all the time. I have a really silly idea that probably won't work, so let's give it a whirl. Can I stab those 2 bales? I don't think I have enough tractor to lift 3 bales. But just for fun, let's pretend like I do. Well, actually, I might have enough tractor for 3 bales. Now, will those bales stay on there? Maybe. Can I fit through the door? Yeah, look at that. Like a champ. This 1455 is quite heavy, I think, for its horsepower rating. So that's nice. Lifted those right off there, no problem. I'm not sure that will work with these 3 because that one is all crooked. Probably a little hard on tractor rear ends. I'm going to use the hand throttle, just bump that up a little bit. We'll just ease on into the barn. Just like that. There we go. Got the bales. So this tractor will be our raking tractor now. But we'll leave that for later. We need to go get mowing. So if I check this stack now, I should have 22 bales. There we go. All 22 on board. So let's go hop in the New Holland. And we'll work our way down to this field. Kind of see what it's all about. I know there's some terracing in it. I've not ever mowed it before. So I'm not sure what kind of challenge awaits. There's our Coon baler. We upgraded the baler. It's got the optional wrap on it for when we're doing grass bales. So I need to sneak through this gate. And then sneak through the other gate there as well. Look out, cows. Oh, took a gate to the butt. And we need to sneak through that gate. Cows are trying to get themselves sorted out there. Come on. Get yourselves all sorted out. Make up your mind who's going where. As long as nobody's leaving the pen. You know they won't leave the pen. It's not how the nav mesh works. Okay, let's figure out how we mow this field. What are the challenges we got here? Possible ditches. I know we have some terracing. Let's get this big old thing unfolded. Got the new Lely triple set up here on the T7, which is quite nice. Just gotta get the right buttons pushed. Made pretty short work of that other big field over there. We'll take a trip around the outside here, kind of see what we run into. I see, so the flowers are kind of growing on the terrace. Got it. So we may kind of mow this in levels. T7 handles this 3-mower setup pretty well. It does bog down a little bit on some of the hills. It makes it just slows down quite a bit. That wasn't a very square corner, but We'll get this mowed. I think I'm gonna have to go over the terrace back over there by the fence and then kind of mow it in levels. It's almost like a wedding cake. Different levels here. Should be a challenge to Bale as well. But the terraces, I guess, they won't let him roll very far. But it looks quite steep there on the western edge. Just about turn around and come back. But I think we need to kick it out and then turn. Turn a little wider. Swipe some of the terrace there. It's alright, we'll get it all raked up. There we go. So I think, can I sneak across the terrace here, perhaps? I'm actually going to mow a little bit because it's hitting the side. It's pretty steep, isn't it? Let's see if we can mow down through here. Down on the next terrace level. So this is a little bit challenging to mow, but at the same time, we need all the hay we can get. These cows are hungry. They're turning this hay into milk, making some decent money. So I'm hoping year 3 will be profitable since we're not going to burn up a bunch of money on crops. Speaking of crops, I should check the prices because someday soon the soybeans are going to be peak. I'll have to sell some soybeans. Almost got her done. One more little patch so we can move down to the next terrace. There we go. Alright, up. Actually, going to turn it off this time, and then we'll cross down. This is the last little area, and it's actually not even hardly a crossing there. Just had to drive through the weeds, and we're good to go. A little bit across the way there, if we can get across the ditch. If it's worth that. Not even half a bale over there, I don't think. Probably just let that sit. It's turning into a little longer episode than I thought it was going to be. But I'm liking all these upgrades. It's kind of a shame to lose Field 3 and all that crop area, but at the same time, I think we're going to concentrate on cattle, not so much on the crops. So that having that working capital has really helped out. This new mower setup is way faster. The new baler is faster. Having just the two tractors cuts down a little bit on operating costs, which helps offset the larger animal upkeep costs from the extra cows. We're still at 54. I do want to keep growing the herd. Kind of see how the hay production goes. Eventually we'd like to get up to 100 head. But I think before I can do 100 head, I'm probably going to have to get that Southwest pasture, but he is really reluctant to sell. Been trying to talk him into it. But getting an early summer cut on the hay, and then we'll be able to get another full cut in the fall. We can definitely do 60 head. Might get enough to do 100 head. We'll just kind of have to see how it goes. I don't want to overextend on cows like I did on crops. So for now, we're just keeping the 54 head. And we'll see how we get along. If we're looking good on hay, I might buy some more cows with the soybean money. Come on, New Island. It's actually a pretty steep little pull there. So, like I said, this isn't a ton of hay, but, you know, it's a bit. Might get 20 bales off of this. I didn't realize the terracing was going to be so prominent here until I got down in here and started mowing. So, we'll get, I think, at least a dozen bales. Every little bit helps. So we need about, I think if we had 100 head, was it 84 bales? I think is what I said. 84 bales each of hay and grass. And then 50 some odd, I think, of straw. I have to pull up the numbers again to be sure. More than what we got with a single cutting of all of our hay. Although it's close. We got 42 off the field. We got 49, I think, off the northwest field. Or 44, somewhere in there. So, you know, that gets us about halfway there. So I think if we do the two cuttings, we'd be okay. But I don't want to count on that necessarily. Because, you know, weather is a huge factor. But that's all that cut, so I think I will call that the end of this episode. I'm going to go get the rake and get this raked up, ready to bale into some hay. So I will catch you in the next one. As always, take care.